Today we're going to check out Zidoo's flagship 4K media player, the UHD8000. So this is the front of the UHD8000, and I really like the build quality on this. It comes with a rack mount. It's got this kind of ribbed aluminum on the sides where the hard drives are, but you have your Zidoo logo, you've got your illuminated power button, and then in the center you've got your display with some logos for Dolby Vision, DTS:X, HDR10 Plus, all the good stuff. And then on the right you have that USB port. And then once you flip down the front cover, it reveals two hard drive bays, and I believe you could put up to 16 terabytes in both of those hard drive bays. I have one hard drive that's on the left side that I'll show you here in a bit, but you have plenty of space for this thing. So there's a hard drive bays open, and as you can see, I have an 8 terabyte hard drive on the left side. So if you're somebody that has a small library, maybe you don't want to access your media across the network, you can just pop a hard drive in there and it's going to be really quick. And then once you boot it up, you'll see that the illuminated power button now is white, and then you have your display screen in the middle, and it's going to display your time or however you configure it. I believe you can display the time automatically, and then during the movie, if you want, you can display the remaining time, the time of the movie. You've got a couple of different options there. But yeah, I really like the build quality. This thing is very stout. It's got a nice hev to it. It's not too heavy, but it comes with those rack mounts, so you can rack mount it in your rack and just make it look more clean. And then on the back, you've got your power switch on the left, you've got your power inlet, and then you have an RS-232 port, coaxial, optical, HDMI out main, HDMI out audio only. You've got a gigabit LAN, two more USB 3.0 ports, USB audio in, infrared in, trigger, and then you have your analog output. And then at the top you have your 3 wireless antennas that you can connect to it, and it does come with those antennas. I highly recommend using the Ethernet over gigabit LAN. That way you don't get any issues or any interference. But yeah, this is going to be a solid player, so let's go ahead and start this thing up and get into the walkthrough. Alright, so when we first boot up the device, it's going to ask you to select your language. We're going to hit English, and then it's going to check for an update, and it looks like there's already an update. It didn't have to do anything. So we'll let that update and then we'll come back. Alright, so once it finishes updating, it will reboot. So it's rebooted, and then we have this beautiful new GUI. It's a lot slicker, a lot more clean, a lot more modern, and I'll show you more on that in a bit. But we've got this Cancer UI, so I really like this one. Some of the, I guess, lower tier models don't have this type of user interface, so it's good to see that it's included on the top of the model. So on the home page, we have our file manager, we have poster wall, and this is where you're going to go for your movies. You've got music, apps, settings, and then there's a little arrow down at the bottom, and then you can add apps. So let's go ahead and do that. So if we add apps, you have your APK installer. So you've got Chrome, so you can browse the web on this thing, Control Center, Image Player, Media Center, Power, Setup Wizard, Update, Shortcut Keys, Settings, Music Player, Home Theater 5.0, Clear Manager, and CD. So if I wanted to add one of these, I'll click the power button, it will click Update and Home Theater 5.0. Okay. And then we'll go back, and then now you'll see when we click down on that arrow, we have our apps down here at the bottom, and then you can select edit app if you want to add more. Alright, so let's check out the settings. So in the settings, you have playback, you've got your auto frame rate. So we're going to change this to match frame rate and resolution, which it already is, and it'll tell you at the bottom if this switch is turned on, the HDMI will need to handshake again at the start and at the end of the video. The display device will also turn black for a few seconds. So if you hit match frame rate only, it's only going to match the frame rate. If you want to match the frame rate and resolution, then you're going to need to go down and select that one. So we want that one. Then you've got third-party app online playback. Okay, so you've got your bookmarks here, start times. You can go 1 to 7 minutes, bookmarks, end times. You got your subtitle and audio. You've got online subtitles, so we're gonna go to English. Okay, default subtitles, also English. Default audio track, we're gonna go to English. Okay, so function keys, we're gonna kind of skip through this. Don't really need to talk about that right now. Play mode, single file, repeat one, repeat all, random, play in order. So I guess this is more of like if you're watching like TV shows or something. I'm probably going to keep this on single file. That way I can just, you know, go at my own pace. So this is, I guess, kind of maybe like a Netflix feature where if you're watching a TV show, it automatically, you know, play in order or play all. Force subtitles, auto, off, follow default flag, follow curtain audio track, the first force subtitle. So I'm going to go follow default flag. And then on the right, it'll tell you if there's multiple subtitles, the 4 subtitles will match the mandatory subtitle. And then, you know, so you guys can check that out. 4 subtitles only take effect for MKV and Blu-ray video formats. 4 subtitles to take effect with closed subtitles. Okay. So then Blu-ray region, you can set it to A, B, or C if you have different Blu-ray regions or different Blu-ray discs. Download subtitle, digital signal mode. All right. And then if we go to display, you have all these different resolutions. So I'm going to leave it on auto switch. That way, you know, if I'm watching a TV show that's at, you know, 30 frames per second, or I'm watching a movie at 24 frames per second, or if I have a movie that has 60 frames per second, which we're going to check out, I'm going to leave that there so that it'll automatically switch. And then you've got your color settings. So you've got 8K settings now on this. So this does support 8K. Which is good to see. You know, future-proof. You always want to future-proof yourself if you can. Okay, so on HDMI signal format, if you select enhanced format, your display device will achieve up to 8K 422 12-bit. So my projector doesn't, but I'm going to go ahead and hit enhanced format. Okay, and then you can change settings. Like if you're watching something below 4K, you can set priority, stuff like that. I'm not going to mess with any of that stuff. HDR mode, so we're going to go to advanced, and then I am actually going to go to low latency Dolby Vision if it's here. So Dolby Vision VS10, I don't really care for those, what it does to the, you know, SDR content, but Dolby Vision content mode, so I don't see low latency Dolby Vision, but that's probably under custom EDID. Yeah, so we are going to do custom EDID 4K 60. Yeah, let's select this one and see what it does. Okay, so you've got EDIDs. You can go in there and customize that for whatever content that you're watching. Supports low latency Dolby Vision, HDR10 plus at different frame rates. Okay, and then if you need to adjust your screens, you know, if your screen is off by a little bit, you can adjust that there. You've got picture parameters, AI image processing. So I'm going to turn on the AI enhancement. So this uses artificial intelligence to identify content and scenes to adjust the color, saturation, brightness, and sharpness. Now, I don't know if this works only on 4K content all the way up to 8K, or if it's, you know, on 1080p all the way up to 8K. I'm not sure on that, but we're going to test that out. Okay, and I'm going to put this on low for now. High settings are usually too much. Enable AI SR. So this is an image super resolution that is achieved through upscaling technology and deep learning functions, which can intelligently improve the resolution of content presented in streaming media, cable TV, and optical discs. Okay, so I think I'm going to turn that on, see what it does. Show AI SR information, yes. AI SR level, we're going to change that to low. User UI interface resolution, so we're going to leave that at 4K, which we want. Screensaver. After 5 minutes of activity, I'm gonna go to 30 minutes. And then wallpaper, you can choose your wallpapers. I'm not gonna mess with any of that. And then for audio, you can select internal player, USB audio in. We're gonna leave that there. And then we're going to select HDMI main because that's what we're using. We want to get Dolby Atmos and DTS:X. Okay, so I'm not gonna mess with any of this stuff XLR because I'm just watching movies. So on decode, we want to go to raw. If you don't set this to raw, you're not going to be able to get Dolby Atmos and DTS:X. This is basically bitstream. So if you have it set up and you want to get Dolby Atmos, DTS:X, then make sure you set that to raw. HDMI audio out. I don't need that right now. You've got SPDIF, USB audio, and then Apple Music. If you want Atmos audio music, then you can select that. I'm not going to be doing any audio on this, hardly any, because I'm using this specifically for a movie player. And then we have network. So right now I'm connected to Ethernet, so I'm going to turn this off, but I'm connected to Ethernet. So, you know, I would highly recommend, if you're going to be using this for 4K media player, if you're streaming over the network, use Ethernet instead of Wi-Fi. Okay, then you've got Ethernet connection lights. We'll leave that on. Bluetooth. So if you need to Bluetooth something to this, maybe a remote or something, then you can turn that on. Sound server, we want to turn that on. Okay. And it says if the Samba service is turned on, all external storage devices connected to this device will be shared anonymously through Samba. So this is a nice feature because you can transfer files from your computer over the network to the Zidoo. For instance, if you rip a new movie, you don't have to, maybe you have a hard drive in one of the internal bays, you don't have to take the hard drive out, take it over to your computer, transfer it. You can do it over the network. I did this with my previous Zidoo, the Z20 Pro, and it works awesome. So great feature. And then portable hotspot, I don't know what that is. We don't need to worry about that. And then other, you've got your language, United States, English, HDMI, CEC. I'm going to turn that off. I hate that feature. Never liked it. Don't use it. So if you're somebody that uses CEC, then turn that on. So power mode, standby after power plugin, startup after power plugin. So we're going to leave that as is. HDD sleep, I'm going to leave that off. I don't want my hard drives turning off. So, you know, maybe if you're somebody that wants to conserve energy, you don't want your drives running all the time, you can select different increments. I'm going to leave that off. Fan control, right now I'm going to leave that on auto. We'll see if I can hear it. I may need to adjust that. Front panel display, we're going to put that on dimmed. So that way it doesn't cause any extra light coming into the room when we're watching movies. Display setting, so you've got show the clock, show remaining time, or show playing time. I'm going to leave that as is. And then keyboards, you've got that there. So those are the settings. Now let's go over and add some content. So if we go over to our poster wall, that's going to ask you for a couple of things. Language is going to be English. Account, child lock, we're going to leave that on off. And then we're going to movie lock. We're going to leave this on unlock because it's just me. TV show unlock, but they give you different ratings that you can lock it. Maybe if you have kids and you've got some TV show movies that you don't want them to watch, you can set that there. And if you do set it, it'll probably ask you for a password that you'll have to enter to watch that content. Okay, so now it's telling us that there's no poster, obviously, because we haven't added anything yet. So let's go and add something. So what we need to do is we want to go to sources. We want to add source. And then we're going to select SMB. So if you had a storage, like an internal hard drive bay, you would select that. I don't have one in there right now, but I will put one in there. So we're going to select SMB. That way we can access all of the drives across my local network. We're going to wait for that to finish scanning. Okay, so we're done scanning, and we're going to select Hatoraid Hulk Smash because that is where all my media is connected to my computer. And then it's going to ask you for a password. If you have a password, you can enter that here. If not, then you can probably just hit OK. Okay, once you put in your password, so I don't have a password for my computer, but if you type in admin for the username and then password for password, I think that's the, I guess, default for the Zidoo. So now I can see all of my hard drives that are shared on the network. So I've got animated movies. So these are the drives that I've named and mapped to my hard drive network. So I know hard drive, so 6 terabyte. So I'll just select one of these, and then I want to add some 4K Blu-ray content. So we'll go down to probably Ultra HD 4K, and then it'll show me all of the files that are in here. So I'm gonna hit OK, and then it's gonna ask me if I want to scan. So then you can change these to intelligent. Let's say you want, you know, the Zidoo's own, I guess, whatever service that they use to scan and catalog your movies. You can leave it like that, or you can do it by movies, by TV shows. I'm gonna leave it on intelligent, and then you can change all of these. Source of scraping movies. So if you select intelligent, it's going to say priority TMDB. So again, I'm just going to leave everything on intelligent, and we're going to hit scan, and the background scan has started. And then once it finishes, you should see all of your movies populate. And then if for whatever reason it didn't find the movie info, you can go in there and customize that and do that. So we're going to wait for that to finish scanning, and then we should see our movie poster start popping up. Okay, so it's done, and you can see it says 19 out of 23, so it means there's 4 movies that it did not find. So we're going to click the scanned, so 2001 Space Odyssey, and some of these you'll see that maybe you don't like the album art cover, like this one. If I long press on it, I can change the image, and I want to go to that one, okay, and then we'll hit back. So now you'll see that the image has been updated. So I'm just going to run through a couple of these and make sure everything looks good. So for whatever reason it didn't find Batman vs Superman. Again, what you would do is you would hold long press on the OK button, and then we want to hit rematch. And so what I usually do is I usually just, instead of typing it in again, I'll just go down here, click this, and you'll see at the end of it, it has the MKV. If you leave it, the MKV there, it won't find it. So what I do is I like to go to, I hit OK, and then I will manually delete that. So if I go all the way to the end, MKV, okay, and then I hit OK, and then I hit delete, 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 hit OK, and then search, you'll see that it found the movie. So then I'll click on that. That looks good. We'll hit OK. And then you'll see that it's been updated. So then I can just go through. I don't know if I really like that one. Change image. You know what? That's actually pretty cool. I might just leave it like that. So I'll leave that one. Dune. That's obviously wrong. The wrong movie. So we'll long press on that. Change image. And then we're going to go, let's see what other ones they have. Okay, so we're going to select this one because that's the correct one. Okay, we'll hit back. And then you'll just do that with all the rest of your movies for the other, ones that it didn't find. So I'll do that here, and then I'll come back. All right, so now we are actually in the theater, and I want to give you a little bit more in-depth deep dive into this Ultra HD 8000. So I'm going to show you some of the features that it has. I'm going to do a comparison of this user interface to the previous generations that I have. I have the Zidoo Z20 Pro, and pretty much everything looks different, including the app, which is amazing. They improved the app even further. So I'm in my theater, and this is what it's going to look like when you plug your Zidoo up into your home theater room, your game room, your man cave, or if you're using a TV. So I love this new interface. Now, this interface here is called the Cancer user interface, and this is one that you could actually download. I downloaded and uploaded it to my original Zidoo Z9X, and it looked like this. But The icons here that go across are different. They're a little bit more modernized. The colors are different. The icons are different. And then you have this down here, which I already showed you. But I could not get this to download on my Zidoo Z20 Pro for anything. So it's kind of weird. But I really like this. This gives it a little bit more cinematic feel to your user interface. So this is what it's going to look like. Now, if we go into poster wall, this is what I'm going to concentrate on. Now, I've already went ahead and downloaded pretty much almost all my entire library here, just to show you. So I've already started some movies, and when you start a movie and you don't finish it, it's going to show up here in watching. And so you can see there's I guess there's a limit of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yeah, so below that, you'll have your categories. So you have all movies, or all. So that's going to be your movies, your TV shows, all that stuff. So if we click in there, you'll see this is all. Now, right here, you'll see how big the movie posters are. It's nice and crisp, very, very clean. And just to give you a little bit more info, I'm using a 8K rated HDMI cable, and I have an 8K rated HDMI cable going from my projector to my HD Fury. Bridgie cables, I'm using Bridgie cables, so love those cables. And then for my HD Fury to the Ultra HD8000, I'm using also a 6-foot Bridgie cable, 8K rated. So you can change the sizes of these. I believe if you press, let's see, I forget which one it is, but I'm going to hold long press on this. So I'm using my Harmony remote as well. And one thing that's good to note, if you're using a Harmony remote, I didn't change any codes. The same remote codes work for the Z9X, the Z20 Pro, and now this one. So I'm swapping out the Z20 Pro and using the Ultra HD8000. That's going to be my main player. And the remote codes work exactly the same. I didn't have to do anything, so that's great. So if you want to change an image, and again, I've already showed you this, but I want to show you what it looks like a little bit on a bigger screen. So if I want to change the image, you long press. I'm going to back out again. I'm going to long press on that. And then I can go to change image. And then you've got some fan art and stuff in here. I can change this to whatever I want. So if I want to go here, change it to that, press back, boom, it's changed. Now if I long press again, I can rematch it. Let's say the title was not right. I could go in here and I could change that, and I've already showed you that. So if we long press again, show you some other options. You've got add to a collection. So I have a couple Aquaman movies. So I'm going to do add to Aquaman collection. And you'll see that it disappears, and then it goes into this Aquaman collection. And because I'm in the A's, it just happened to work out. It's right here. But you may notice that your movie poster goes away and you won't see it. That's one of the small things I don't like. Plex will allow you to have the Aquaman poster and the Aquaman collection. So I don't know if there's a way to change that, but it's not that big a deal. So if I click on that, you'll see Aquaman from 2018. And I guess I haven't added the other. I have a couple more hard drives with media that I need to add. So the other Aquaman, actually, no, the other Aquaman is on my Kaleidoscape, so it wouldn't be here. But if you have a collection, and I'll show you that too. So like Ant-Man collection. I've got Ant-Man, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then Ant-Man Quantumania. I don't think I've purchased that one yet, but that one would show up here. And then you get your background. So if I long press again, I can mark it as watched. I can mark it as unavailable for children, clean up matching information. If you want to just, redo the information on there, I can add to a category, all that good stuff. But I really like how clean this user interface looks, and it looks crisper. It looks better than the previous versions. And again, I'll show you what the previous versions look. Now, the movie posters look pretty much the same, but I'm noticing far more detail. It's a little bit softer image, but very crisp. Okay, so if we back out of there, and you can see the movies, how quick they load. So they load, and then if I go back up, let those load. Okay. So you can see they're not even refreshing, it's already there. So I think they need to load at least one time, but you can see how quick it is. So once they load for that first time, then you should be good in scrubbing through. Okay, so I'm gonna hold down and go all the way back up. And look how fast the posters come up. So we'll do that again. That's pretty quick. So if you have a huge library, just be patient. You might need to scroll through, let the movie posters load up, and then you shouldn't have an issue. Okay, so if we back out again, so then we have our movies categories. And then if I go up here, if I go up here, I should be able to change. So I have this view as well. So I've got now a scroll across with more info up there. And I actually kind of like this. This looks pretty clean. And one thing that you'll notice, and I'll show you here. So if I click on Angry Birds, you'll see that they've updated the icons to be more modern and more crisp. So you have your 4K Ultra HD, your HDR10, H265, Dolby Atmos. Those icons they look different. They've got the color for the 4K, the HEVC, but it just looks more modern. It's a little bit more edgy but crisp. I really like what they did with that. Okay, so if I go back and I go to TV shows, so this will be, excuse me, my TV shows. And again, I can change this list if I want to. I'm gonna leave that like that for now. And then unmatched is gonna show you the movies that it did not match. So I'm gonna show you that here. So Spider-Man 2. So if I long press on it, and if I back up, it'll show you the path, and it shows me where this movie is located. And this is The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So if I long press on that, and I go to rematch, what I usually do is I click here, and then I just go down here. It usually asks you, do you want to search for this? I'm gonna hit that, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and then, oops, we'll go back there, rematch, Amazing Spider-Man 2, and then I can go down here, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and click that, hit OK, and then you'll see it goes away from the unmatched. And then if we go to movies, and I'm going to change this view, so we're going to go here. I also have this view, so now I have a complete alphabetical list. So I can scroll down there, you get your posters on the side, so you have quite a few options. And let me go, and so there's The Amazing Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Okay? So then if I go back up here, so I can sort by poster name, I can sort by rating, I can sort by date added, year, modified name, duration. You have a ton of options in how you want your user interface to look, and they've done a great job with that. So I'm gonna go back to that one. Okay. And then board mode, you'll see here, this is gonna give you can shuffle this, or you can hit spin. So if I hit spin, it's gonna randomize a movie, and it's gonna pick a movie for me. And there's a little audio animation on there. So you've got that option too. If you're bored and you want to, try something else, you can do that. So it's pretty cool. And then you have your sources. So these are all my hard drives that I have mapped to the Zidoo, on the Zidoo. So I can go to any one of these, and it'll show me all the movies that are on this hard drive here. And then if I press the menu button, it gives me more options. I can update this. If I copy a new movie there, I can update it. I can remove it, all that good stuff. Okay, so if we go back here, it'll show you your recently added movies. So these are all the movies that I've recently added: Gemini Man, Aquaman, Power Rangers, all that stuff. And if I hit more, so if you're just adding this for the first time, it's not going to be that big of a difference, because it's going to be all in there. But you can see your list there. Okay, and then down here you have your genres. So you have science fiction, thriller, horror, documentary, action. I can add a category if I want to. I can uncheck a category. So drama, comedy, romance. So let's say I want to add comedy. And when I go back, and then it's going to populate some movies under comedy. So I don't know how accurate that is. I mean, there is some comedy to like that movie, The A-Team. I wouldn't call that a comedy though. Like Batman and Harley Quinn. If you know the movie, then you'll know that there's some comedy in there. But like this, I don't consider this a comedy. Chicago, that's a, that's a musical. Looks like I'd say that's hit or miss, but for the most part, it gets most of them right. So then you have your recommended list. Now I don't know how this is populated, but you have a recommended list. So you have plenty of options if you're somebody that wants to just go in blind and pick a random movie, or you want to go by category, documentary. I've got Human Planet in there. So obviously this is not right. Green Lantern, I don't know why it's populating that, but you can go in there, and if you notice that it's not right, the movie poster or the information, then you can change it. Now, one thing I want to test, because this is HDMI 2.1, my projector is HDMI 2.1. I don't have an 8K display, but one of the issues I've always had with the previous Zidoo players is Gemini Man. So if you don't know, Gemini Man is 4K 60, so it's a high frame rate. And I always had issues playing this movie, and it would skip or it would pause, and no matter what I would do. So I'm curious. I'm going to mute this, and I'm going to play this so that you can see that this doesn't have any issues. So I'm going to hit play, and you'll notice that my lights are going to go off. That's one feature with the Zidoo that I can do with HomeKit and HomeBridge. I can put in my IP address and the MAC address and have the lights to come on and go off whenever I play or press a movie. So you notice the lights got dimmer because the lights went off. So I'm watching this, and it is playing buttery smooth. And on previous versions of the Zidoo players, this was a movie that would already, so I'm going to pause this so I don't get a copy strike. And you'll notice that the light came on when I paused it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I'm going to hit play again. And you'll see the light went off. If I hit pause, the lights come on, and I have specific lights, specific dim that I have the lights to come on. So that's one really cool feature that you can do with the Zidoo players. Doesn't matter which player you have. If you have a HomeKit and a HomeBridge, you can go in there and customize it. I have a video that walks you step by step on how to do that. So I'll link that in the description. But yeah, this movie, I did this previously. Obviously, I can't play an extended clip of this because I'm going to get a copyright strike. But this movie plays buttery smooth now. Didn't have that, or had a different issue with the previous versions. So if you have movies like, The Hobbit that are high frame rate, this should play it all the way through, no issues. Okay? Now, I do want to show you some of the controls that you have available to you when you are playing a movie. So I'm going to go to a different movie, and I'm going to pause it, and then I'm going to show you your options. So if I hit play, you'll see the lights will go off again. Okay, I'm going to hit pause. So when I hit pause, lights come on. If I hit info, I can see some information over here. It gives me the movie, it gives me the runtime, the year, the movie rating, it gives you your synopsis, tells you all the information, subtitles, audio, aspect ratio, and then it tells me the output mode, what's currently being output. So right now it's outputting 4K, 23 hertz, and 12 bits Dolby Vision, low latency Dolby Vision. So if I hit more, then I can see the video information, just basically telling me, the format version, how long the movie is. It gives you a ton of information. If I want to bring up subtitles, I hit subtitles on my remote, and then you see the English subtitles that I already have ripped in MKV. I can add a subtitle, I can download subtitle. If I go to subtitle settings, this tells me that it's not supported right now. If I do pop-up menu, This one doesn't have a pop-up menu because it's not a BDMV folder, but I can hit the audio button on my remote, and then I can switch between different audio channels. So that's pretty much it. So this is very clean. I love the way this user interface looks. I grew to love it when I didn't really like it too much when I first got my first Zidoo, but I've grown to love it, and they've just really improved on that. So I'm going to switch over to my Zidoo Z20 Pro and show you what that looks like compared to the Ultra HD 8000. Okay, so now we are on the Zidoo Z20 Pro, and this is the home screen of the user interface. You can see how different this looks. This doesn't look as good as the Cancer user interface on the Ultra HD 8000. This is okay. I'm fine with this, but once you see the other user interface, I don't like this anymore. But it's simple. It gets the job done. It's just, very basic. So, you don't have the second page that you could scroll down to. I can still add other apps here if I wanted to, if I needed to. All right, so if we go to our home theater 4.0, you'll see how this looks different. So the icons they don't look as modern. They don't look as sharp. The detail is not as high end as the Ultra HD 8000, but it still looks good. But I can notice, you probably won't come through on YouTube, but this just isn't as crisp as the Ultra HD 8000. So that upgraded power supply over the Zidoo Z20 Pro and some of those other options, those other models, really helps, and you really makes a difference with the movie posters and the movie content. So you can see how it's kind of situated pretty much the same, but it's different. So I believe this row here is lower on the HD, on the 8000. So if we go to movies, now you'll see I have smaller icons here. And again, it still looks good, but the crispness is gone. The added detail is gone. And the 8000 has a little bit softer version. This one still looks sharp, but it's just not as sharp. Okay. So then if same options, you have your information there. And then, in a few minutes or a few seconds, you'll probably get a movie poster that'll start playing. I don't want that to happen because I don't want to get a copyright strike. But same thing, if I press down on it, I have all the same options, so that doesn't change. But pretty much, you get like updated user interface, as you can see from the, when we were on the 8000. And then, everything looks pretty similar, but, they just really stepped it up on the Ultra HD 8000. So I just wanted to show you that really quick, what the user interface looks like. We'll go back again to the home screen. And, this, after you see the Cancer user interface, I don't even really like this anymore. Okay, so I'm going to switch back over to the Ultra HD 8000. I want to show you the app because the app is awesome. Okay, so we're back on the Ultra HD 8000, and again, you can see how different it looks and how much modern, more crisp, more detail, more high-end that this looks. Now, before I show you the app, I want to go back because I do remember how to change the poster view. So if you go to settings so I'm in the poster wall. So if I go into poster wall and then I go up to settings, I can do all kinds of stuff over here. So I can change the language. Right now I'm in English. I've got preferences. I'm not going to go through all of this. You can go through this because this video would be too long. But if I go to poster view, I can change the poster size. So I can go from large, and it'll give you a visual representation on the right. I can go to large, medium, overspread, small. So obviously, depending on the size of your movie poster, the more movie posters or less movie posters you'll get. So I'm going to hit small, and then you'll see the movie posters when I go into my list, how small it's going to be. So now I have way more movie posters on here. You can see them loading. So when you change it, it's going to have to load again. But once they load up, you should be good. So you might like this better if you want to see more of your movies, or if you have a ton of movies, then maybe this would be better for you. So then, you know, I can scroll down and look how fast they load up. Now, if I go back up to settings, go to poster view, and then if I do, let's do overspread, see what that looks like. So now you get even more. And man, just look how clean that looks. Really nice. And this almost kind of gives me a Kaleidoscape vibe with the, you know, it's not Kaleidoscape by any means, but it does remind me of that a little bit. Okay, so then if I go back again, and I go back and change it to the standard poster view, which is large, I'll show you what that looks like again. So I think I'm going to change it. I think I'm going to switch to one of those other ones. But now I want to show you the app. So I'm going to back all the way out here on the home screen, and I'm going to show you the app. So I have the app here on my phone, and you'll notice that I have all of the same options that I do on the Zidoo. So I have my poster wall, I have music, I have files, streaming, cast, and settings. So we're going to focus on the poster wall and the music, because I do want to show you the music as well. So if I click on, or before I do that, so I already have the app downloaded on my phone, and I also have it downloaded on my iPad. So I'm going to type in Zidoo, and I'm going to open it. And I want to show you, because the first time you open the Zidoo app with one of these new players, it's going to ask you which device you want to select. Obviously, I have the AK series. I have the Z8000. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to hit next. It automatically pops up on my network. I'm going to hit add. Okay, and then if I want to add another device, maybe I have another one on my network, I can add that there. So if I click on this, then it's going to show me all the options that I have. Okay, so I wanted to show you that on the iPad, but if I go over to my phone, so I can click on poster wall and I get the same view. So if I go over to poster wall here, you can see I have Gemini Man, and you know, it doesn't look exactly the same, but some of the recent movies that I played, the creator, I believe the creator might be there somewhere, but it's a little bit different on the phone, but the concept is the same. So I can go to recently watched, and oh yeah, so it's here. So it's under recently watched. So recently watched shows, I have Gemini Man, Midway, Spectre, Top Gun, Wonder Woman, Top Gun, Gemini Man, Spectre, Midway, Wonder Woman. Okay, and then if I go to unwatched on my phone, I can see all the movies that I haven't watched yet. I can see recently watched. I can see recently added. Now let's say I want to watch a movie, and I'm going to hit Gemini Man on my phone, and it tells me that I'm already 3 minutes into the movie. It tells me the movie rating. I get the movie poster, the introduction, which is basically the movie info. And if I hit play, notice how quickly it starts to play on the Zidoo. So I'm going to hit continue, and then I'm going to hit pause on my remote. So I hit pause, everything functions the same, the lights come up, I'm going to hit play. Look how fast that is. That is instant. There's zero delay. I'm going to hit pause again, and then I can bring up subtitles. I'm going to select this subtitle. I'm going to hit exit. I'm going to hit play. Let's see if our subtitles come up. Hopefully I don't get a copyright strike. So you see the subtitles come up now. So I'm gonna hit pause. And then if I want to skip forward 10 seconds, I hit the skip button, skip again. It's instant. There's no lag. I want to skip back. It skips back. I hit pause. And then if I want to change the audio, I can change the audio there. And then if I want to stop, I hit the stop button. And the movie stops playing. So then if I want to go to another movie, let's say I want to watch Ready Player One. I'm going to select Ready Player One. I haven't started this movie yet. I'm going to hit play. Movie starts playing. I get the background movie art on my phone. I get the timer, the movie. I hit pause. The movie pauses. I have all my controls here on my phone. I get the format. I get the bit rate. I get the video resolution. All that good stuff. So I'm going to skip forward here. 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds. Movie starts playing. I hit pause. My lights come on. This app is awesome. They improved this so much, and it just looks so much more modern. It's so clean. And as you can see, there is zero lag time between using the phone over my network to the Zidoo that's behind me in my rack. Okay, so we're going to back out of that. Now, for those of you that like EVERSOLO, this is basically a Zidoo and an EVERSOLO in one. So if I back out of here and I go into the music app, I've got different options here. So let's say I want to go to streaming because I haven't added any music yet, but this is what I wanted to show you. So if you're somebody that likes to stream high quality music, maybe Tidal, Qobuz, you have Amazon Music. I've already linked a couple of these. So Amazon Music I have linked. I don't really use Amazon Music, but I linked it just so that you can see that, you know, whatever music I would have in here would show up there. So again, I don't ever use Amazon Music, but I do have Qobuz. So Tidal, I don't have an account right now, but if you had Tidal, then you would log in with your credentials. With Qobuz, also high quality music, I have an account there. So I can go into Qobuz, and then I can go over to my playlists. Actually, I need to go over to my favorites. So these are my favorites. So I'm going to go to, I'm going to unmute this so that you can hear it. But I'm going to go over to Forgotten, and you'll see it immediately starts playing. And you get some little art on the background on the screen. Okay, so I'm going to mute that. And this is actually the first time that I am using this streaming on the Zidoo for the first time with you guys. So this is pretty cool because you get the album art, you get your information, you get a clean user interface. I have my controls here, and then, you know, you've got the nice little audio levels that are on screen. If I hit this, I can change the priority of the streaming from medium, high, lossless, high res. If I go over to the next icon, I can go to this view, and it says press left and right to switch between themes. So if I press right, I've got that theme, a color theme. We've got that one. Okay. And then if I go to this one, then I can see the voltage meters. All right. So we'll back out of that. And then I've got pause. I can skip forward, skip back between the tracks. If I hit here, it'll list the site. I can change it between repeat, all, repeat single, shuffle, list play. If I click that, then it'll show me all the tracks that I have that I've played. So currently in queue. Okay, and if I hit the ellipses, then I can select my favorite. So you basically have the same controls as you would in Qobuz or Tidal or Amazon Music. Okay, so if I skip here, should go to the next track that I have in queue. Okay, so if I skip back again, and it goes to, you know, see if I can hear this. All right, don't want to get a copyright strike. So you also have that option. So again, this is basically an EVERSOLO and a Zidoo player in one. This thing is awesome. I am super impressed with this. I've always loved Zidoo players, but this is a whole new level. This is Zidoo stepped it up. This is going to be, other than my Cloud Escape, because my library on the Zidoo is vastly superior in quantity than the Kaleidoscape. This is going to be my main player. This is going to replace my Zidoo Z20 Pro, and I'm super excited about this player. I'm excited to watch movies again on this. This is going to be a very good experience, and as you can see, this thing is super snappy. It's very, very quick. There's no lag. It's improved over the previous versions. You know, if I go in here, let's look at the, so you can see it's not even loading anymore because it already loaded the queue or the cache. So the only time it's going to load is if I haven't gone all the way to the end. So if I go all the way to the end here, you'll probably see that these need to load. And it looks like they may have already loaded, most of them. Okay, so yeah, you can see how quick and snappy this thing is. Very fast. HDMI 2.1, Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, DTS:X. You've got your music streaming apps. You've got music. You've got Tidal. You've got Qobuz. This is cream of the crop, guys. I highly recommend this player. If you know me, if you've been watching the channel, I've been making videos on Zidoo since the first time I bought one a couple years ago. This is their high-end player, the top-of-the-line player that you can get. Definitely, it's well worth it. Thank you guys for watching. If you appreciate this video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And I think I'm going to watch a movie now. Yeah, I think I'm going to watch Replicas. See you guys in the next video.